87.
Hello, this is Logan Schofield.
And this is Martin Cooper.
And this is Daniel Laredo. Welcome to the next installment on our series in Real English. In our previous installments, we covered the rhythm of language and stress and intonation. In this segment, we're going to cover the patterns of connected speech in native spoken English.
Take 33.
1, 2, 3.
You actually get to start, Logan.
Capital did.
Oh. We're coming to you from in front of the state capitol.
Right there. Now, before we start, we should explain the meaning of this subject. In ordinary speech, sounds are affected by the sounds that surround them. The nature of this phenomenon is dependent on context, but also the formality of the speech can make a big difference.
For example, slow and clear speech is necessary for a formal presentation. In this form of speech, there'll be fewer examples of connected speech than speech that is more quickly paced and informal.
Here's an example of connected speech altering the way we sound.
It's good. When I ask my students a question, then I expect them to give me the answer.
Notice that in the final two words in the connected speech, it sounded like there is a Y between them, the answer. This is because when we connect final vowels to front vowels, E, I, and A blending occurs between the two sounds. This is a distinguishing feature of English. When we have two words with a final vowel, which is a frontal vowel, as in our example of the words the and answer, uttered naturally together, they become the answer.
For this lesson, you're going to watch several videos of interviews I conducted with some non-native speakers. In the videos, they discuss the problems they had when they first heard native English speakers. Most of them refer to pronunciation problems as one of the most difficult aspects when learning this language.
I think that the most difficult thing for me when I was learning English in Brazil was to know where the stress patterns went, or just the stress went in the syllables, because since they don't have accents in English, it was hard for me to know that by heart. So I had to read a lot and listen to other speakers a lot in order to really know where the stress goes in words. The thing that I found it was hard was dealing with acronyms, because there's so many acronyms in English, and depending on where the register where you are, you find a lot of acronyms, so that was very hard.
Hello, my name is Byron Delgado, and I'm a Spanish GTA. And when I was a child, I came to this country when I was 8 years old, and I had some trouble speaking because I had fear that kids would laugh at me, and they did, in fact, and so that created insecurity, and so I was very shy at speaking. But as I continue to play and have relationship with the children, I improved, and my pronunciation eventually got well enough that I was speaking normally with the rest of the children. So that's it.
Now, Logan Martin will have Logan and Martin will now have a normal conversation which might be difficult to understand because it contains several examples of frequently occurring connected speech.
I'm going to call Logan.
Hello?
Hi, it's Martin here. I'm going to go to the library. You want to meet me there?
Hey, Martin. Oh yeah, we have the presentation to do, don't we? Well, it's raining outside right now, so I'll see you there in half an hour, okay?
Well, that's the explanation for why we're so wet.
How do you know I'm wet? How are you? Oh, I'm not gonna do that over. Let's listen to one of those sentences again.
Here, I'm gonna go to the library. You want to meet me there? Hey. Notice that in the preceding sentences, we heard the words gonna and wanna. They're part of the common reductions that happen in connected speech. Gonna actually means going to, and wanna is short for want to.
More examples of common reductions are a lot of. A lot of becomes a lotta. For example,
Man, you have a lot of money.
one more example is of. Of becomes a. For example,
I should have worn a different pair of pants.
finally, and becomes an. For example,
Okay, so at first I didn't notice a lot of differences between what I was doing or learning and other people because I was taught by non-native teachers. So they had a Spanish accent, so they were pronouncing things the way you would if you were a Spanish speaker, right? So I didn't notice anything at first, but then I started to listen to music and I watched some movies and by native speakers, and I realized that they were doing other things that I wasn't even close to doing and even understanding at first. So I had to look for things in writing so I can understand what they were trying to say and then try to imitate the way they were doing it. And there were things like, when I heard things like Ghana, I did not know what that was. Or wanna, I didn't know at all what that meant. So I had to look it up and see if I could find what it meant and ask other people that maybe knew about it, and then I realized what it was. But at the beginning, I was really surprised by that, and then I started to imitate. Once I understood, I could imitate it, but at first it was very hard.
Daniel went to get some copies. He's going to be right back.
Good? Man, I'm not gonna be able to pass this gate. I left my ID at home.
You should have worn a different pair of pants.
I should have worn a different pair of pants.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Nice. Perfect. But you know, I can always depend on the kindness of strangers.
Not this time, buddy.
They're not going to let you in. Let's just go to Daniel's office. We're out of here. We're going to go to Daniel's office to do the project. We're going to go to your office to do the project.
Cool. Okay. I'll see you on the other side. The other side.
And that's it.
as we listen to the sentence again, pay attention to the words depend on.
But you know, I can always depend on the kindness of strangers.
Another feature of connected speech has to do with when one word ends in a consonant and is followed by a word that begins with a vowel, we move the ending consonant to be attached to the following word.
For example, in this sentence, depend on becomes.
Depend on.
In another example, with us becomes.
With us. It's hard to believe, but even the former President of the United States can speak English.
Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.